There's a place in West Virginia where the mountains seem to fold into each other, endless, like waves frozen in time. The New River, one of the oldest rivers in the world, slices through the Appalachian landscape like a blade, carving its way through ancient stone. This is Fayetteville, perched on the edge of the New River Gorge, a town shaped as much by the river's relentless power as by the people who've called this place home for centuries. And I'm about to tell you that story. If you're speeding down Highway 19, Fayetteville might seem like just another dot on the map. But slow down. Get off the road. What you'll find here is a town rich in history, grit, and adventure. It's a place where the past lingers in the air, wrapped around the hills and valleys, carried by the current of the river below. A place where the pulse of the land beats stronger than you'd expect from a town of just under 3,000 people. The New River, it's the lifeblood of this place. It's cut through these mountains for eons, shaping not just the landscape, but the lives that cling to its edges. And at the heart of it all is Fayetteville, a town that's seen it all, from Civil War skirmishes to the coal boom that once fueled the nation, to the adventurers who now come seeking the thrill of whitewater rapids and towering sandstone cliffs. Originally called Vandalia, Fayetteville's roots go deep. Named after the Marquis de Lafayette, the French hero of the American Revolution, this place carries history in its bones. There's a statue of Lafayette standing tall in front of the Fayette County Courthouse, watching over a town that's always known how to fight for its place in the world. Fayetteville has always been a battleground of sorts. During the Civil War, it found itself in the crosshairs, changing hands 4 times as Union and Confederate forces fought for control of this strategic ridge overlooking the New River Gorge. The scars of those battles remained, etched into the stories passed down through generations and marked by historic plaques scattered throughout the town. One such marker near the courthouse commemorates a moment of military ingenuity, the first recorded use of indirect fire in battle, where Union forces fired cannons not at what they could see, but where they knew their enemy was hiding, just out of sight. The fog of war, right here in this small mountain town. But Fayetteville's history isn't just one of conflict. It's also a story of reinvention. Long after the cannon fire faded, this town found itself at the heart of another battle. This one fought in the coal mines that dotted the region. The Appalachian coal fields fueled much of America's growth in the early 20th century, and Fayetteville was no exception. The coal boom turned this area into a bustling hub, as mining towns sprang up along the gorge, feeding an insatiable demand for the high-quality, low-sulfur coal buried beneath these mountains. For a time, this region was an economic powerhouse. But coal, like all things, doesn't last forever. As the industry began to fade and the geopolitical landscape changed, so did many of the towns that depended on it. Fayetteville, though, wasn't content to go quietly. It adapted, it pivoted, and it found a new identity in the rugged beauty that had always surrounded it. In 1976, the completion of the New River Gorge Bridge changed everything. This engineering marvel, a 3,000-plus foot span of steel arching nearly 900 feet above the New River, was the longest of its kind in the world when it was built. A feat that turned what used to be a 45-minute journey down the winding, treacherous mountain roads into a 60-second drive across the gorge. Suddenly, Fayetteville was connected, no longer isolated by its geography. And that bridge? It became more than just a way to cross a gorge. It became a symbol of the town's new life. So significant, it is commemorated on the West Virginia quarter. Every year on the 3rd Saturday in October, thousands flock to Fayetteville for Bridge Day, where base jumpers hurl themselves into the abyss below. It's a mix of awe, adrenaline, and insanity. A spectacle that captures the wild spirit of this place, the kind of event that stays with you long after the last jumper has floated down to the river below. But even if you're not into hurling yourself off a bridge, Fayetteville has something for you. The New River Gorge itself is an adventurer's playground, drawing climbers to scale its sandstone cliffs and kayakers to tackle the world-class rapids that range from Class 1 to Class 4. This is where the wild things are, both the landscape and the people who come here to test their limits. The gorge is one of the best rock climbing destinations in the East, with towering cliffs that offer breathtaking views to anyone with the nerve to make the climb. And the river? It's a force of nature, both peaceful and dangerous, offering calm stretches for those looking to float and raging rapids for thrill seekers chasing that rush. But Fayetteville isn't just about adrenaline. This is a town with a quieter side, a place where you can slow down, walk the streets of its historic district, and feel the weight of history around you. The Fayette County Courthouse, the Altamont Hotel, the E.B. Hawkins House, these are all more than just buildings. They're pieces of the past, preserved in time, telling the stories of a town that has always known how to survive. The Fayetteville Historic District is home to 75 historic buildings, each with its own story, each a thread in the fabric of this place. You can feel it in the air, the history, the sense of place. And then, of course, there's the food. Take a walk through downtown and you'll find places like Cathedral Cafe, housed in a repurposed church, serving up breakfast that could make even the most cynical traveler pause for a moment of quiet appreciation. And the Secret Sandwich Society? That's a place where a sandwich is more than just a sandwich. It's an experience, one that feels a little bit like magic wrapped in bread. But what really makes Fayetteville special? It's the people. There's a kind of quiet pride here, a sense of community that runs deep. These are people who've lived through the ups and downs, who know what it means to scrape by, to survive. They're not flashy, and they don't need to be. They've got something more, something real. It's the kind of place where you'll find folks who know the land like the back of their hand, who can tell you stories of the old coal mines, or guide you down the rapids with a grin that says they've done this 1,000 times, but they'll still enjoy every second of it. Fayetteville isn't just surviving on the strength of its natural beauty. It's a town that's made its mark by knowing how to adapt, how to evolve without losing its soul. This place isn't trying to be something it's not. It's a small town with a big heart, a place that understands the value of its history but doesn't let itself get stuck in it. It's constantly moving forward, yet rooted in the strength of its past. So, if you ever find yourself driving down Highway 19 in West Virginia and you see that sign for Fayetteville, do yourself a favor. Take the detour. This isn't just another stop on the map. It's a town that breathes for adventure, that holds its history close, and that welcomes anyone looking for something a little bit more than just a place to pass through. It's a town that has lived through wars, through economic booms and busts, through the rise and fall of industries, and yet here it is, alive, thriving, and more real than most places you'll ever visit. Fayetteville is history, it's adrenaline, it's community. It's a town that'll stay with you long after you've left, like the memory of standing on the edge of the gorge, looking out over the river that's been carving its path through the mountains for years innumerable. This is Fayetteville, and it's worth the stop.